just realized I didn't get my little bag yet. Okay, I have it here now. Okay.
And I know we have to like, we can't have our normal, 2-hour after show banter.
I know.
Because you have somewhere to be. So
I do.
We got to move right along this morning. That's okay.
Yeah. I have momming to do.
Parenting is important.
Parenting. Yep. So,
it's funny you say that. I was going to talk about that today anyway. Parenting, I mean, I'm empty nesting it, but that doesn't mean I'm not parenting because it just shifts. Things just change a little bit when they're, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I wouldn't change it for the world because I love my 2-hour conversations on the phone. All I have to say, thank goodness for wireless, earbuds or headsets or whatever, because, they might text me at 10 o'clock and say, are you still up? Can you chat?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Knitting. And then invariably, I'm like, give me 5 minutes, find the earbuds, pee, get something to drink. Because, and
you remember, so two things from the olden days that I remember. First of all, getting sore from being like this, holding the receiver with your shoulder,
twirling
and then the other thing is how before we finally got a cordless phone, how the cord in our house just kept getting replaced with a longer and longer and longer one.
So it'd go down the hallway.
Yeah, you could go somewhere and do something instead of just standing in the kitchen,
I think phone conversations were shorter back then.
I don't know. I am not one for talking on the phone. I really don't. I never have enjoyed talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And remember, I don't know what it was like for you, but where I grew up, people like teenagers would call other teenagers after school in the evening, whatever.
Yeah.
And just talk for hours.
Yes.
Like just hours. And I would have friends who would call me and I really just did not like talking on the phone. And so I would just be stuck on the phone, mostly just listening to a friend, just talking and talking and talking and talking.
Present. They didn't call it that.
Present.
That's what it was.
A lot of the times body doubling, which is something I've learned about recently without realizing I was body doubling for someone. So I do that a lot for my kids, body doubling, who both have ADHD.
I'm not sure I know what that term means.
So that is, and I've noticed I do the same thing. Again, I'm learning more about myself as I parent my own kids, but body doubling is something for people who have ADD, ADHD. A lot of the times they're sort of paralyzed in their ability to do something. But if someone else is present, not helping, just present, then they can do things.
Oh, that's what that's called. Okay, I totally know what you mean, because like when I'm on the phone with someone, I'm more likely to straighten my dining room table.
Yeah, because someone's present for you, even though they're on the other side of a phone line.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Because I recently have realized in the last year, I totally have all the symptoms of ADHD.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying, you do. I'm saying, like.
Well, no, it's okay if you are, because I mean, I'm sure you recognize that in me.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
It's totally fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I need, to be medicated or anything like that. It's just a matter of me recognizing those traits and then finding systems to manage that. And that's totally fine, because I feel really fortunate and really grateful that I work from home. I have a couple different businesses, but I'm able, I don't have to go and function in like a corporate environment.
Right.
And which might be really hard. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so I'm grateful for that. But I get it. I just didn't know it was called that.
Yeah.
What's called that?
Interesting. Yeah. So we've talked before, you and I, about how like a lot of girls growing up went undiagnosed because the way it manifests is different, and that we just like people in our generation just sort of developed. We just figured out the strategies out of necessity.
Struggled.
or struggled.
Yeah.
Or turned to substance abuse, or there's all sorts of different avenues that people
but
went
like down. You and I have talked about that. Like I'm still struggling with what planner? Like what? I mean, I got to decide what I'm doing for 2024.
Yeah.
So
I say I would really, well, I don't know. Different things work for different
yeah,
people.
yeah, for
But
sure.
like I said, just the running to-do list is the thing that works best for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm one of these people, I always have these grand ideas and I like how the neat little planners look and all that, but then do I keep up with it? Not really.
I love a planner. I absolutely love a planner, but they're useless.
I mean, I mean, I like the idea of a planner. Let's put it that
Right.
way. My
Right. I
one of
might get
my
it. I might use it for like a week and then it's just out the window.
I'll
But
tell you
yeah.
the thing I've stuck with the very longest that I will probably just carry on with and 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 understand that maybe I don't need a change. And I think
Mhm.
for me growing up, moving a lot, I mean, I went to 11 different public schools, 9 states before I was even 18. And I
Right.
think that so every once in a while when I get that like itch, that urge to have some change, like whether it's rearranging your furniture or what, I think that's what it is about the planner thing. But I should just stick with what I know has worked the best. I mean, it's not great, but
Yeah.
it's worked the best so far. And that's the bullet journal system.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's not the prescribed literal prescribed boxes, you
right.
know? And so I can make it what I want. And if I skip 3 or 4 days, I don't feel like I'm wasting paper. You just pick up where you left off and it's okay. It's okay.
Right. So when I first heard about bullet journaling, I knew enough about myself and what worked at that point and what hasn't worked at that point, and my tendency to throw myself into things and then not do them at that
Same.
point, that when I heard about bullet journals, I was like, oh, this would work. I could have a part-time job setting up people's bullet journals for them. That's where I would excel, would be like, let me analyze what you need and get it all on the paper for you. And then because I would do that for myself and I would love that part of it. And then I would not actually do it.
Do it. You wouldn't do it every day.
But if you need something organized, I am your
Our
girl.
entire house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the
Love that
problem.
stuff.
That's the problem is
I love doing it for other people.
it's different when it's your own crap, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But nothing makes me happier than to fix someone else's chaos, to edit someone else's paper, like that is how my brain works, is seeing like the little things that can be tweaked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I love that stuff. Love it.
Yeah. I like all the bullet
Anyway,
journal stuff. I like the stickers. I like the office supplies. I
yeah,
like it that every month can be different. Yeah.
absolutely.
So for viewers, if you're not familiar with the bullet journal method, I'll put a link down below.
Yeah.
So and then there's all the office supplies.
Oh yeah.
Pens, the markers, the stickers, all the things.
I don't allow myself to go into office supply stores anymore. And like literally, I don't go
There's a
into
reason.
them anymore because it is a problem for me. And so probably I think I did go in once last year, and of course I came out with an armful of stuff I didn't need, but I did get the stuff I did need. But I will just order stuff online now because I do come out with so much I don't need.
Right.
But what I've been doing is just, and this is a little doorway into the weirdness that is Anne. I am literally working through everything that I have. And anytime I finish something off or use the last note card or whatever,
Mhm.
I cheer for myself.
Yeah.
I have like a little celebration. And now nothing makes me happier than killing a pen. I love getting to the end of a pen. Like, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Good job, me. It gets chucked. We go on, pull the next one off the pile or huge handful of them and just work my way through. And yeah, and I like have a little, like, I'm not throwing confetti and stuff, but I'm like, I have this much space back. This is
Yeah.
this much order in my home again, whatever,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
just like
For sure.
acknowledge it fully.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
started using fountain pens because it just drove me nuts to like get rid of. I mean, it's just wasteful. So I
Yeah.
started using fountain pens and I have a bottle of ink and it's a refillable thing. And I was really picky about which one I chose, knowing myself and that I don't like Yeah, that was a journey, the fountain pen journey. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's hard to choose. It's hard to find the one that you want. But anyway.
I have a big, before we go on, and we should go on, but this is a big one. I have this thing where I can't get rid of unused notebooks. Like if the notebook still has like 5 or 6 pages. And I
Yes.
told you, so I mentioned I have a running to-do list. What I mean by that is every day I put everything I need to do on a to-do list, and every day I copy it over.
If you
And
didn't get it done.
anything that's done
Yeah.
gets left off, and I have a fresh to-do list. Next day, start over, copy it over.
Yeah.
And so I have all these notebooks from homeschooling and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Adam's
Partial.
work and whatever, where it's like there's 3 pages left, whatever. And that's what I've been using. But because of Wovember and dealing with the entries for that, I am through all of them. They are all gone now. And so I can actually use the nice, like good paper, pretty notebooks that fit into the leather cover that I want to have and want to like be my leather bound cover for the rest of my life. Like I finally am to the point where all of that is gone. And I now can have a lovely notebook that will like get cool and old as I get older from use, you know? And I'm just like, I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy.
Well, we could have confetti.
Confetti! So that was a lovely benefit of Wovember, was to like accelerate that process.
Nice.
And get to the end. So I'm very, very happy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know you have to go. So let's go ahead and do.
Yeah.
Oh, but first thing I want to know, did you go to the movies?
Yes. We saw A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel to the Hunger Games movies.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance to read the book before we went, which may be why I loved it so much.
Oh, okay.
To me, it is the best of the Hunger Games movies.
Interesting.
And I really like those movies. I love the books. I really like the movies.
Okay.
But this movie, I think, is the best of all of them.
Interesting. All right.
And I did not expect that. I thought it was going to be sort of lame and like trying to get more money kind of thing.
Yeah. It was really good. Okay.
It was fantastic.
Good
So highly recommend. Go see it in the theaters if it's still in your area.
Hey, did you watch the first episode of Fisk?
No, I did not, because I didn't have time. I was off doing that.
Oh no, you'll have something else this week.
And I'm swatching for a project, but we can talk about that more when I actually cast it on.
Okay. And when you don't have an appointment to get to.
And when I don't have an appointment. But yeah, anyway, so there's my progress. Anyway.
It's your teaser for tomorrow.
It's my teaser.
Okay.
How was your day yesterday?
Good. I'm going to tell you what I did.
Okay.
I'm going to find the right sock here so that I don't spoil anything. Okay. I took these out. I took them out and re-knitted them both. Well,
wow.
Only to the toe, because I started trying them on a little bit. Also, the value of toe up socks. I tried them on a little bit and realized it was a little too wide.
Okay.
So it's fine. It was only, this much, and I like knitting, and it was totally fine. And I watched a show and I re-knitted both toes because I had increased the toes up to 72 and realized it was a little too much. So I went to 68.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you try them and you're happy with them now?
Yeah, now I'm happy.
Okay.
So should I just show you since I'm holding them?
Yeah, go ahead and show. So now your stripes are going to be ever so slightly wider, or maybe like more complete around.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not quite done knitting stripe 5, but you can still see it. You can see the colors. I think I have more around. And then here's the neutral, right?
Okay.
Okay. So then here's the neutral.
Uh-huh.
And then stripe 6. Oh, I was not expecting that. Look, it's more of a wow.
Like a blue-green?
Yes.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Let's see how that's going to look. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's much like brighter. Turn to the brighter.
Well, okay. Well, That'll be
Cool.
fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how
Nice.
that comes out.
Yeah.
Nice. So show
Okay.
us what you've got.
So day 6 has Viking longships.
Nice.
Same reason, a Pelia reference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we already explained that yesterday, so I'll just open it up.
Okay.
Doing it away from my microphone, so it's not super
Crunchy.
loud.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a surprise. I forgot what the colors were because I packed these in October. So this is
Well, right.
all
Yeah.
a surprise for me.
Ooh. Wow.
So this is Forget Me Not Heath. So it's dyed on the same back. Oops, sorry. It's dyed on the same background as the Bilberry Heath.
Yes.
And then these are the other 4 colors. So that's the set from Uradale Farm.
Right. Fantastic.
Uradale Yarns. So
Beautiful.
this again is all never bleached, organically raised, and as organically as possibly naturally processed, the dyes, the processing, everything. So, and all the sheep are Shetland breed, heritage breed sheep. So
that's lovely.
So happy. So that's that set. So tomorrow we'll see the yarn from the next maker.
Yay.
The box.
So since we're kind of abbreviating this morning's Ann and Jan morning show, I will tell you, I had, we've changed our format a little this year, and the only 2 interviews we have are from the people from our, our kits.
Yep.
And so I can put in today's interview with Michele from Woolens and Nosh.
Perfect. So I look forward to meeting Michele. I haven't, met her in this way. So I look forward to watching the interview and getting
so that was a lot of fun. And she talks about, some about her process of choosing colors and how she puts things together. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to visit with her. And I have another podcast with her where she talks about actually how she got into dyeing yarn and the process of doing stripes. And so I'll link that one below as well if people want to watch both. So
excellent. Okay, sounds good. I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you then.
Good to see you. Bye.
Yay. I'm back again with Michele from Woolens and Nosh.
Hi.
It's good to have you.
Oh, thanks so much. It's great to be back.
You've had a whirlwind of fall.
Ooh, it was a ride, but so have you.
Well, kind of. So for viewers that don't quite get it yet, I mean, right now, this is my Advent kit. Michele is the brilliance behind this. And so I just wanted to talk with you about that a little bit. And I mean, we're not giving away anything. There's no spoilers here.
Nope.
I'm not that. But I mean, I'm in awe of just the nerdy sock math that has to happen to end up having stripes that plan out this way.
Right. Right. It's math. It's and it's so fun. Every year we have a little bit of all right, so didn't we do it like this? And isn't this but that's not adding up. And this,
you don't write it down.
We did, and we take pictures and stuff, and we do, but it's always that moment when you've been away from it for a little while and you come back and you're like,
wait, how did I do that?
What? And then we have like a little bit of I got a new piece of equipment last year. Yeah. And the measurements on it are slightly different, and we didn't know that for a little while. So now when we went to go do Advent this year, it made it a little more complicated to make sure that everything was measured correctly, because I couldn't just use the measurement from the equipment itself.
Right.
I had to, so it gets confusing. We've got a stick.
Cool.
The stick. And then you
have the magic stick. That's always
we do. And it says in there, this many yards plus stick.
Oh man, I hope nobody ever takes the stick. You don't lose the stick. That would be
no.
You got to have like a big chain and a piece of metal on there or something. So nobody can walk off with the stick. Reminds me of like the bathroom key at a gas station where they have some big obnoxious thing on there so no one takes it.
Exactly. That's right.
Well, I think you're brilliant and it's fantastic. And I'm so excited. people are knitting this toe up and cuff down. I checked in this afternoon on the hashtag, so people should go and follow that on Instagram, and that's hashtag Woolens and Nosh Advent 2023.
Yep.
And people are starting, yeah, that's what you told me.
Or is it 2023 Advent? Oh, now I'm confused. Ooh. I'm sure whatever I told you is right. Maybe people made their own. Hold on.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look.
What's cool is now I'm starting to see people pop up with the cuff down sock and a couple stripes of the pattern that came with the kit as well. So that's been a lot of fun to kind of see that, because I'm knitting mine toe up and I'm just doing a vanilla, you know, I'm not sure if my mom's doing the pattern or not. Maybe I should run over there and take a picture of hers. And because she's knitting hers cuff down, I'm knitting mine toe up.
Yep.
I don't know if she's doing the pattern or if she just wants to knit it plain.
Right.
Because the pattern's super cool, whether you do it this time or not. It's fun to have in your Ravelry library either way.
Definitely. And the designer, Kristen Drucker, she knit it, I think maybe the first time or the second time she used Spectrum with the pattern and posted that on Instagram a few days ago. So you'll
nice.
Get that. It looks really cool. It's so sharp.
Down her Instagram and put the link down below in the video description so people can go follow her as well. Yeah, that's fun.
Neat.
So
okay,
what do you think it is?
So there's one that says Woolens and Nosh 2023 Advent, and now I'm going to put in Advent 2023. And there's stuff under that one too.
Which have I been doing?
I don't know.
I think mine is Woolens and Nosh Advent 2023. I think that's what I've done.
Okay.
All my posts, because I've been using that, and then I've been putting the link to our podcast on there as well.
Perfect.
So if people want to see the stripes progress daily.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a lot of emails from people that say, I don't know how anybody does just one day. It's so hard.
I'm struggling. I'm like, I pull a little more and I pull really, and I have not cheated. Because you asked me when we started, have you peaked? I'm like, no, I've been good, but it's hard. It's a good thing I have a lot of other whips, because I'm like pulling it carefully. Oh, there's the neutral. And now that I know that the in-between neutral is only like 1 or 1.5 rounds, I'm like, oh, careful.
Yep. Yeah. Don't get all woo, woo, woo with the yarn. It'll.
I'm like, I got the bag right here. I actually, because I didn't want to see the other day, I was knitting the neutral round between. I actually knitted like right up to the back. And then I'm like, okay, stop. Like, my hands right up to the edge of the back.
That's funny. I like it.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm digging it. You're brilliant. I'm just saying.
I don't know, but
and now you get to have a little time off, right?
Yes. We don't really take any time off during the year. I mean, maybe a long weekend here or there kind of thing.
But not a vacation.
No, yeah. So by the time we get to this time of year, most people I think have the yarn they want for gift knitting and stuff like that. And I just feel like it's a really good time to not have stress, right?
Well, and like we talked about a moment ago, you still have kids at home. You have, I mean, and it's nice to not have work and have that rest a little bit while your kids are off for winter break. And yeah, I mean, you should have that time with your family, you know?
Definitely. And it does us such, because like you said, fall is a whirlwind. We're doing trips, we're doing clubs, we're shipping advents, there's so much going on with, the shows and everything. And then by the time we get to this time of the year, we're almost at burnout level, know?
Oh yeah.
Have that time to rest our brains a little bit.
And by the way, people, all the yarn behind her, she already told me is spoken for. So I'm just saying, don't be looking for it. The shop is closed until after New Year's.
Yep. But if you're not in the newsletter, join the newsletter. There'll be an announcement when we're open back up, and
Oh.
Um,
Oh, okay, but let's talk about that because I know you paused the club for December as well,
yep,
and I
yep.
still have some club stuff to knit, so that's fine. I mean, it's fine. You don't need my permission. Do what you want. But and it'll take me a while to knit it all. Mostly I just like to pet it and look at it. But I will say the first stripy skein I ever got from you was the Ashen Veil.
Yeah.
And I did not realize how the Targhee would soften up so much after its first little bath after I knitted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're
It's
like my favorite socks to wear with my Birkenstocks and my purple t-shirts.
I love it.
So it's not like I don't have other stripy things to knit, right?
I
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just socks, but you posted today on Instagram that you'd made this beanie.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
do please. Yeah, I saw that and I wanted to ask you about that because I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Oh,
I could make that.
you could totally make that.
Okay.
So you just use
Yeah, tell me.
so this is the DK weight, but if you did it in fingering, it would look very similar.
Would be
Um,
lovely.
yeah, and I just use the mini for the brim,
Okay.
and then start knitting. But for the DK, I think I did like 88 stitches, I think,
Okay.
and then knit like maybe 9 inches total,
Oh,
and then just
come and
decrease.
see.
Yeah. So any of the colorways, if you're thinking about doing a hat and you've got the club, I would advise that you wait until I do the reveal because the I learned this last year. That micro stripe, like on the advents, the one round, sometimes I do that, right?
Yeah.
Where I had that one skinny micro stripe. That doesn't make it all the way around a hat.
Well, right.
Right? So you'll get like this pooling
Oh
diagonal of
yeah, I
all
don't
the
want
stripes. You don't want to do that. So, but if you're thinking about making a hat with the fingering weight or the DK, just look at the sample that I'll post usually a week or two after it's shipped.
well, right.
And
And the
then if
ones I'm thinking about are previous 2023 ones, so I can just look back and see. Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, as long as it doesn't have a micro stripe, you should be able to knit a hat and it should look, you'll get at least one round, but usually like 2 or 3. There it is. There it is.
Yes. Love it.
So yeah.
And you knit a Musselburgh one time that had one color on the inside and one color on the outside, and I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, a lot of people only use somewhere around 50 grams of fingering weight yarn per sock.
Oh yeah, not me, but okay.
Well, maybe not you. Maybe not you.
Oh, we
But
talked about this once.
but but you
Okay.
can like weigh your balls, right? And then, just use leftovers and put them together so that, and
Fun.
then in the middle you could use a a color that matches both, and then that brim part would be work
Yeah,
for either side.
that's really fun. So,
Yeah.
okay, so let's talk about, you mentioned the club. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Mhm.
Your site is closed for December. Everybody's on vacation. That's cool.
Mhm.
Are you planning to reopen clubs sometime in the spring or sometime after the new year? Or we're not sure?
Well, here's what'll happen. So everybody that's already currently in the club, I don't I don't I can't speak to how other people run theirs, but I'll tell you how I run mine.
I'm
So
still
yes, you're still in. Nobody lost their spot and it's just going to pick up again. And I have a fixed number that I'm working towards each month that I can't really do more than that and do regular
okay.
shop and whatever else is going on, right?
Right.
So you have the number fixed, and then as people decide that they've had enough and pull out of the club,
Okay.
then I have a wait list that I'll pull from,
Oh,
and then
nice.
if I exhaust the wait list, then I can open it up to the general public for a certain number of spots.
Sure. That makes sense. Okay.
Right.
So is there a magical way to get on the wait list if people are interested?
Yeah, you just email me and say,
Okay.
"Put me on the wait list," and I do.
So
And then
just send Michele an email and say, please add me to your list for when you open the club.
that's right.
Simple.
Very simple. Either info@Woolens and Nosh or Michele with one L at
Yeah,
Woolens
that's
and
how I do it.
yeah.
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 And people do come off. So,
Sure, people's lives change. They have enough yarn, their budget changes, whatever. I mean, it happens. Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. In fact, I think kind of I was sort of planning on like I've been actually shocked. I expected most people to want to rotate out after 3 or 4 months, but a lot of people are sticking with. They're yeah. It's nice. So,
So
a lot less
let's talk about that for a minute. I get the Targhee because because I love it. 90% Targhee, which is
Yep.
people don't know what that is. It's just a different type of sheep.
Yep.
And in my opinion, the wool is a little more durable for sock knitting
Mhm.
or mittens or, because I'm hard on stuff, right? Hands and feet. I mean,
Right.
I don't mind a good merino for a hat. That's great. Or a cowl or whatever, but I want something a little more durable for my feet.
Yep.
Right. So I love that. But you can also get it. You have different bases.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. A couple of different bases. So, but the two that I use for the club is that t Targhee fingering and then the 100% superwash merino. It does not have any nylon in it.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And
and
then you
people
get a DK for the club if people want, right?
right, that is the DK.
Oh, it's
The
100% merino. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And people pause when they hear or read that there's no nylon in this DK.
Mm.
Um, because we've all been taught you've got to have the nylon in there for the strength. And in some cases that's true, but there are also other ways to increase the durability of your yarn besides nylon, right? And one of those is the twist.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've got these here. This is the DK. Can you see
Oh,
how?
yeah, it's round and bouncy.
Yeah. Um, this stuff doesn't. I've got several pairs of this DK socks that I personally wear in my hiking boots,
Oh,
around the house, everywhere. No pilling, no breaking. It's
okay.
beautiful. It's just beautiful. So don't fear if you are a DK, if you want DK socks,
Right.
worried about that base, don't be. It's
And
kind
there's
of
also,
indestructible.
you can do the slip stitch reinforcement on the heel, and that helps as well as cushioning a little bit, and it helps for durability also.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
you know what? People have knitted socks for eons before nylon was ever invented.
exactly.
So
This
learn
is
to
true.
darn them. I mean, if you get a bit of a hole in the ball of your foot or your big toe or something, I mean, there's videos on my channel too about darning socks, right?
Yep.
Learn
Yep.
to fix it if it happens. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, so those are the two options for the club, or the fingering and the DK. And then I have a couple of other I used to carry this 75-25 Corriedale superwash and nylon, but I couldn't get it over COVID, but I might go back to it because it's a really nice, it's very similar to the Targhee and then it's really plump. Like this is I wish I had a skein of non-tart, like a light, like, like that, a 75-25 merino that's
Yeah.
very light, like
It's a light
460.
fingering. Yeah.
It's like almost half, like when it's skeined up and next to each other.
Right.
It's in like this is so nice and plump and bouncy, but it still works up to a great 9 stitches per inch gauge. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The Corriedale is very similar. I might bring it back, but it's a little different. It's a little shinier. It's real nice. But anyway, and then I've got the Targhee on Sport as well.
Ooh.
But I do
But not for the club, just for
not for
regular.
the club,
Okay. Okay.
just for striping yarns.
Yeah.
And then I've got some stuff that I do tonals on that our process requires that our yarn for the striping come on cones.
Right.
And a lot of the mills or places where you can get undyed yarn in the quantities that we need don't offer their bases on cones.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So my pool of yarns that I can pick from is much smaller than
What you might
what
think. Yeah.
Right.
So what do you have things coming up for the new year, or do you have to wait to think about that till after you've had a bit of a break?
I might need a little break. I think what we'll start off with the club. We've already got the yarn prepared and ready. So when we get in, I can just start dyeing right away.
Nice.
Um, I'll be so what you s- we've had a very good year and there is almost no stock of anything. So that's probably going to be the first couple of months is just trying to get the shop restocked.
Right. Right.
And then there's the possibility of a collaboration with a designer that I can't talk about too much, but it would be a spring thing.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Okay.
happens, it will happen in the spring.
Well, people can watch your social media and
Definitely, definitely. I do have a collaboration with another company that's going to be coming out this month in December. Um, Again, I still haven't been given the okay to talk about it, but as soon as I can, keep watching the Instagrams. But I did a very in the past, I've done collaborations with, well, like with you for your retreat. I don't know if I'm
I
allowed to say
know. And see, people don't really know about that, but because it's not a colorway. It's not a colorway. Let's digress for a second. I contacted you and said, I'm having this retreat in Ogden. I need X number of skeins, blah, blah. And then you and I met and figured out the stripy colors and how that would go. And it was brilliant. And then when it came, I was like, oh, it's just like I thought. It was better than it was fantastic. And
Oh,
everybody's loved it. And I'm not going to show because it's not available for the public. It was
right,
from the event, which
right.
we'll probably have to talk about that again for next year.
But so I've done a similar kind of thing with Denise from Earth Tones
Yep.
Girl,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I've done a couple of colorways with her. And so another yarny, another
Partnership,
partner,
collaboration,
yes, is
project.
yep. They got in touch with me over the summer and sent a sketch of what they thought they would like, and we did that. And so they will have that in the next week or two
I'm
in their
excited.
shop.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's very different from my style, which is so much fun to do because
Yep.
you have your own way of thinking and creating, and sometimes it's really fun to do something that you would never have occurred to you to
Yeah.
do. So
Outside your comfort box a little bit.
right,
That's
right. Yeah. So I'm
that's really
excited to that come out.
It's
Um,
amazing to me how you work out these color combinations though. And you showed me a little of your process when we met that time with your Excel spreadsheets and your just like colors and the orders of things. And I was like, wow,
yeah. No,
wow,
it's really fun. I don't mind sharing that at all. It's
cool.
my brain just seems to work like Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah.
The columns look very much like a knitted tube of sock, right? And you can adjust how wide your rows are so that you can kind of get
Yeah, you
an
just play with the size of the cells. Sure.
yeah. And then you fill
Like
the
that's
cells. You
brilliant.
have a whole rainbow to choose from, and so it works out
Right.
really well.
And so
Yeah.
then here's a question though. How do you translate that to dye? Because
That's why I don't care about sharing
that's
because
the magic. That is the magic right there, is translating what you see on the screen, and you might have that color code, right?
Mhm.
Whatever,
Right.
how it's a number with some X's or whatever.
The hex code, yeah.
But you gotta translate that to the liquid dye, and that's the brilliance.
Right. So that I think that's just practice, knowing your dyes and working with your dyes a lot and knowing that and a lot of times I'll do like a little kind of like watercolor sketch, like how you'll swatch something.
Sure.
I'll take a few drops of this and a few drops of that and kind of see what it might look like on a watercolor page kind of thing.
That's sweet.
Um, but it's just sometimes I nail it the first time. Sometimes I don't.
I don't know. You nailed it with my event
Oh,
skein.
I'm so glad.
You nailed it. Nailed it. It was exactly what I had hoped. It was fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
I'm
really
so
cool
glad to hear it.
that you're open to doing things like that with people, because that was brilliant. So
Oh, Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about at the beginning part of the year. If anyone in your viewership lives in Vermont, in near the Upper Valley, I'm going to be hiring soon. So that's on the to-do list, is to hire some more staff. And so we'll be doing some training and things like that, just getting ready for the next big Advent season.
Yeah, because you take pre-orders in like April.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people need a budget for that, because watch for that. Put me down. I'm just saying. I mean, I'll watch for it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I already know I'm doing it again. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, we start in April, and we
you had pre-orders in April, then you opened it again briefly
in August. Yeah, and yes. And we didn't really even add all that many. So in April, we listed 800 skeins, and they were gone in a week. And then I listed in August because so many people had been asking. I added 60 more, fingering weight only. And I could, because I was starting to burn out a little bit.
It's a lot.
But then we also have like a couple of batches that weren't quite right, or, something had happened to them, or, this. So I ended up dyeing over 1,000 skeins of Advent yarn.
Holy.
I know. And then we wind them all too. So it's not just the dyeing. We skein them off into 50 grammars instead of 100 grammars. So there's twice the work there.
Right.
And we also hand wind into cakes. So if we did 1,000 skeins, that means we wound 2,000, or almost wound 2,000 50-gram skeins to put into the bags. We don't get bags with snaps on them. We have to put the snaps on the bags. So like there are all these pieces.
I had no idea. Oh my word.
We have to start so early to make sure. And even then, like this year we got to the end and I was short. I had to do another, oh my goodness, quick, do another batch of fingering and because I was 11 short.
Oh. Oh.
So, but it all worked out and it's all great. So,
and people are so happy.
I hope so. Gosh, I hope so. Cause we put so much into it. It's really, really nice to know that people are enjoying it. So, yeah.
Oh, I had a woman contact me and she's like, well, I got the Woolens and Nosh Christmas and I'm knitting a stripe a day with you. She's watching the podcast. And it's just a little bit of comfort. She had a friend pass away in the last, week or 10 days. And it's just a little comfort, and it was so sweet of her to reach out and say that to us. And to you, I wanted to share that with you as well. And it's just, I messaged her back right away, of course. And I said, well, I'm really happy to bring a little peace, maybe, because that's really rough,
Yeah. Sometimes we really need that. I had a similar story of
it just helps people.
Sometimes that thing that seems like such a little thing turns out to be such a big thing, So
yeah. And you guys put a lot of yourself in this, and that's evident. That's evident. It is. I'm getting all like,
I know, I'm gonna get misty.
But it's evident that you care. It really is. And it's important. It's important. And that's, for me, I mean, the pattern is lovely and I will knit it. For me, during this time of the year, I just need the round and round and I just want to enjoy the stripes and I don't want to have to pay attention that much. I have a lot going on too. I have to edit every day and, so
Absolutely.
I just wanted the round and round. I didn't want to work that hard.
Yep. Definitely. And I like that too, because it is what you make it, right? So if you wanted to do something more, you can. And if you just really need I
just want to go round and round.
Like 15 minutes, please.
And I love this because it's like my little tidbit a day. And then I'm like, yay, I take a little picture. And then
Oh,
It's
that's so
a lot of
cool.
fun. I'm excited. Now, just to be clear, I
Mhm,
was talking to Anne about this today. It's a 24 stripe repeat. I
mhm.
was not assuming that all the stripes would be the same width, and I'm not asking you to reveal
Right.
anything.
Oh, I can tell you. I
Oh,
can tell you.
okay.
Every it's the same pattern of striping throughout. So the one micro stripe and then the 4 rows or so of
Right.
color.
Okay. So they're all the stripes are the same width. Okay.
Yes. And that's come back to math. I wanted to be able to have it fit within the 411 yards,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Evenly
Okay.
because it is a true mystery and you're not winding anything and it's coming out. I want everybody's to start at the same
Yes,
place.
that makes sense. Sure.
It ha it
So
kinda
that's
has
a lot
to
of
be like
fun.
that.
So for me, I'm not well, I will hold this up. By the time this airs, people will have seen this much. So I
Okay.
just have, my 4 right now, but
Mhm.
I know how big my foot is. So I could, measure this off and be like, okay, I know the width of this and I know how long my foot is. I'm gonna not have a whole sock when I get to 24 stripes. I'll have to repeat a little bit, which is totally fine. I mean, I'm
Yep.
expecting that.
Right.
But Anne and I were talking about that, and she goes, "Well, what do you mean? You won't have a whole sock when you get through the 24 stripes?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because my feet are bigger than that."
Yeah, and that's something that I put in the card and in the listing and
Yeah,
everything,
you did.
that if you want your socks to be done by Christmas, you might need to knit 2 or 3 a day, or pick a day that you knit like 4, so that you're
Yeah. So what I'm
extra.
going to do is knit a stripe each day for the podcast,
Mhm.
and I'm going to finish my socks between Christmas and New Year's. Which is
Perfect.
fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine because I don't want to reveal early,
Right. Right.
and I'll have New Year's socks, and that makes me happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a perfect thing to do.
Brilliant.
I
I
like
haven't had an advent like this before, and I think it's brilliant.
Oh, fun.
So now
It
I'm
is.
gonna do it as long as you do it.
Um,
And
right,
right
and
now, it's not a good time to ask you that after you just did the house.
I know, I did say, we've got 4 months of pretending like maybe I won't do it again. I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna do it again, but that moment of just like, I have choices right now.
I know it's so much. It's a lot, but it's evident that it, it's the love and the care is evident.
Yeah, we
It's
get
it's
it.
nice
It is. I mean, it's definite. If we didn't care about it so much, there's no way we could do it. You know what I mean? Like,
because
you
it's a
have to
pain.
really care about it, which is not complaining at all. Like, I'm not complaining
No,
at all,
no, no, no.
but it is,
It's
it's
worth
definitely something that you have to want to do because it could get
it. It
yeah.
could get ugly either otherwise. So I'm excited. I want to knit a beanie. I actually wound this one up. I don't recall which month this was. You would, maybe.
Like, oh, that's glow bug from July, and that would be a perfect color for a beanie. Yes.
I might do that.
Nice.
Like I need another whip, right? I don't need another whip, but maybe I do.
Another round and round and round one that you don't have to think about. That sounds perfect.
I know I'm in the middle of a musselburg for my husband, so I have that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm
Okay.
making a garter stitch schlanket kind of thing. So,
Mm,
I mean, I do have some projects that are just,
good.
pretty appropriate for Netflix knitting right
Yeah.
now. But,
Yeah.
I have some other harder stuff too, so it's fine. Do you even
Oh,
have time to actually knit anything?
well. Um,
Oh.
in fact, I did get a circular sock knitting machine used in the
Oh,
like early fall, late summer, early fall this year.
samples. Yeah.
And I I have a couple of part-time employee. Well, I have one part-time employee now. I had a couple more, but recently they've had other things happen, and so they're not working here anymore. But one of the people that was here um, does a lot of flat machine knitting. And
Oh.
so I was like, "Hey, if you're mechanically inclined this way, you want to figure this bad boy out?" And so that's what we had a couple months of the yarn club where we could crank out the samples, because it's really, that's all I've had time to do for the last 9 months or so is sample knitting.
Samples. Wow.
Yeah. I've actually I've hired a woman that does hand knitting, like larger projects like sweaters and things
Yeah.
like that. I've hired her to do sample knitting as well, because I just don't. I've
Yeah.
got a I've got a fingering weight sweater on the needles that's been on the needles for about 16 or 18 months.
That's
And
okay.
I've got the sleeves left. It's just the flax light,
Oh,
and
yep.
it's
Okay.
beautiful, but it's not complicated at all. There's not a lot of like cabling, or it's just stockinette, but I just don't have the time lately. So I'm hoping to, it's sort of like when you work on a computer all day, you don't want to come home and be on the computer. Same, a little bit, but it doesn't take long for me to want to get back to it. So, we went on a trip after Thanksgiving, a family trip, and like within 2 days, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad I brought my knitting because I'm ready now." So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Excellent. So people need to watch for your collaborations. People need to
Yeah.
watch for your shop updates coming up after the new year
Yep.
and club signups. If they
Yes.
want to be, but just to recap, if you want to be on the wait list, just send an email. You will get an autoresponder right now because your shop is closed down. But that's not to say that Michelle's not getting the emails. She's getting
Right.
them. She's just going to
Right.
deal with it all after the new year.
Right. Right. And so, yeah, for sure. And basically the date that you emailed is the date that you're in the order of the list for. So,
So do it
you know,
now. But if you've
well,
already been in the club for 2023, your spot is secure. And you did say that in your newsletter.
yes. Yes, it
I'm
did.
still happy to have the reassurance. It makes me so happy when I get my little squishy mail.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. It's lovely to connect with you again.
Oh,
I
you too,
look
Jana.
forward to seeing what's up after the new year, but I hope you get some rest
Thank you. I
and
hope you
find
do
some
too.
people to come and help you with your stripy wizardry. I'm like, I
I
want
hope
to move to Vermont. I want to do that. We can geek out about the math of it all.
I know. It's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. All right. Well,
You're
I hope
tired.
you have a happy holiday
Thank
season.
you. You as well. All right. Thanks for joining me again. All right.
Absolutely.
Take care.
You too.